So, today's episode is going to be a little bit different. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about my little trip to Scotland, why I'm going, and why it's meaningful for me to go. It's just a little update. I feel like it's almost for me to get it out and just to talk about it because one, I'm really really excited, but two, I don't know. Not many people in my world are interested in new self storage sites and what I'm doing. So I thought that it might be interesting to let you know about this site, what it means for me, and what difference it's going to be. It's only going to be a short episode because it is 6:32 as I record this in the morning, and I have to set off to Scotland because I've got a meeting with the gentleman at 3 p.m. So, as you know, I'm opening a site in Mansfield. But the problem with Mansfield is that the capital expense. It's a 20,000 square foot building, and I'll tell you something else as well. But I made another cock up. It's just like literally, here's another mistake I've made. Don't do this. Here's another mistake. Right before I get on to any more than what I'm going to tell you is I'm going to tell you about my little mistake. So, this site in Mansfield, beautiful position, absolutely fantastic. The agent had a board outside on the main road, and I was like, "What? Can I put a board there?" He goes, "Yeah. Wix had a board there. You can have a board there." I'm like, "Oh, brilliant! We've got a board there." No one said anything. He actually said to me, "I tell you what, this agent. There's a few things that he said that haven't been true." um, and yeah, he said, "Yeah. We put a board there. No problem. No dramas." Excellent. So it's the first time I've properly invested in signs. I can't remember how much it was, but it was five figures, 10 grand or something like that. Say 10 grand. Richard, if it's less than that, I am sorry. Richard, if it's more than that, I am sorry. I think it may be 14 grand. Anyway, and I've got beautiful signs on the building. I think all in all, it costs like 30 grand. And this is the first time that I have ever invested in signs like this. But it's a great location. It stands out. And we're just improving our business model all the time when cash allows. And so I put that sign there, £14,000. Next thing I know, I got a message from an angry landowner who owns that bit of land telling me to take my sign down. Oh, yes, apparently it's not our sign. It's not our land. We've got no rights to it. It's his land and he needs it. I'm like, I spent 14 grand on a new sign. Oh, I mean, I asked forgiveness, not permission, but this is getting ridiculous now. So, yeah, big mistake. Again, you should always find out whose land it is. Can you put the sign up there? Because in my mind, I was like, well, not the end of the world. I can take that totem pole to another site and job done. Oh, no, you can't, Dean, because there's a Mansfield number on it. So it's just gone. So yeah, and the only place I can put it is on the concrete footpath. And obviously I can't do that because that's the council's. So yeah, we've got a small issue. Right. Anyway, so the problem with Mansfield is the cash flow. The cash flow. I'm uncomfortable, especially with this economic climate, making such a big bet. Because it could be 7 figures to do the shop fit and the cash flow needed. And then there's all the containers we're going to put in the yard. Don't get me wrong. This place will make over £500,000 a year. It's going to be a tremendous place in 4 or 5 years. Not obviously to break even and to be producing cash. It's not going to be 4 or 5 years. I think it's going to be like 18 months. And it's going really, really well. We've got loads of reservations when we open. So I think it's going to be a really successful site. In fact, I think it's going to fly. However, I still have to borrow a lot of money. There is a lot of money, capital expense coming out. But on the flip side of that, I can't ever be outpositioned in Mansfield. And I'm going to have a beautiful self-storage that is going to be worth many, 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 many multiples when I come to sell. The big boys are going to cream their pants over this. Yes, I say cream their pants because it's true. It's a lovely, lovely site. Big, long lease. Don't get me wrong. I know I need some freeholds as well. But the problem is, again, it's cash flow. You're going to lose money. The rent is £120,000 a year. The rates are £60,000 as well a year. So straight away, 180 grand losing. But not only that, then there's electric, there's all staffing costs, etc. There's all associated costs. So let's say all in, it's going to be 250 grand. Say, yeah, 250 grand, best part of it. Especially when you've got Google ads as well. So yes, it's going to be a lot of money. But the problem is, it's all the capital expense as well. So not only that, I've got capital expense. And so there's a massive, massive chunk of money going out every single month. And that's fine because we know and I prepared my cash flows. I've got my cash flow forecast, etc. I know that money's going out. I'm prepared for it. And so it's not a problem. However, I do feel a little bit uncomfortable because of the economic climate, because we're opening in winter. It's a massive new site in a new place. And you're just always worried. You're always a little bit worried. And so, yes, I want to open new sites, but do I want to be opening a big, massive site like this at the minute? You know me, I love to expand. I don't want to wait for Mansfield to get cash flow positive before I open another one. So what can I do? So I've been looking for land because I believe that I can open a container site with £10,000, with £20,000. That is it. That's all I need. And it'll cash flow almost immediately. So you need to find the right land and you need to find the right location. I have found the right land and right location. There's no rates, firstly, because it's a small site. I can't tell you exactly what size it is because I don't want nobody trumping me to it because I haven't signed it yet. It's a small site, so there's no rates, no rateable value. The rent is low, really low. So that's another tick in the right direction. I've got 3 months free rent that we've agreed to. So again, I don't need any rent. I can, to open up, I don't need any rent. There's a fence on it. There's a gate on it. It's tarmacked. Perfect. No capital expense to improve the land. I can get containers delivered. I can buy 5, 10 containers at a time. And I get payment terms now from the container sites, which is awesome. And then not only that, I can then asset finance them. I can asset finance the containers. And I've worked out that I only need 15 containers rented out to cover the asset finance for 20 containers and to cover the rent. And I'm making money. 15 containers rented out. That is it. And by the way, it's at £9.75 per square foot. So it's not your like we charge a lot in Willoughby and Beverley for containers. Oh no, we're talking about charging £30 a week. Why? Because containers are so cheap now. We're still getting a return on investment. We don't need to charge loads. So £30 a week, that's all we're charging. And so they will fill up like hot dogs. Like hot dogs. What does that even mean? Like hot dog? I don't know. They'll fill up quick. They'll fill up really, really quick. And so the capital outlay for me is solicitors. Get a new gate, because I probably want a new gate, and signs. I don't think there's any more. I don't think there's any more than that. A website, I can knock up a location page really, really cheap. There's not a lot to do. And so it excites me. And I've done my figures as well. Within 12 months, 12 to 24 months, maybe even 18, I can get this place netting £100,000 a year. I mean, obviously, I've got repayment of loan to pay for the containers on the asset finance, but ultimately, I will be cash flowing. And that's what makes me really, really excited, because this is like a tester site, because it's a long, long way away from our central hub. It's like 6 hours drive, 7 hours drive. And so if I can get this working, then for me, it just opens all the UK up. We don't need to be there. I'm absolutely convinced we don't need to be there. And so many people are worried about opening far away. And I almost want to do it to prove to ourselves. Because, yes, we've opened in Wrexham and it's a manless. It's indoor, so it's slightly different. I think you can open a manless container site and not have to be there at all. And just have somebody, a cleaning company, go around and clean the containers once a week. That's it. I'm sure there's some more problems along the way that I haven't thought about, but I think it's fairly simple. And so when that happens, it opens up the whole of the UK. Not only that, it could open up Europe. It could open up Ireland. It could open up different places around the world, around Europe, that we could just open up. It is super, super, super exciting. And for me, it'll massively help with cash flow as well, because if I can get this 10, like I said, I only need 15 containers rented out, and it pays for the asset finance for 20, and it pays the rent, and it pays a little bit of extras as well. 15 containers. Who can't rent out 15 containers? So hopefully within the first 3 months, I'll have rented out 15 containers. And that means that 15 containers, and then I start paying my rent. And so therefore, because I've got in 3 months, anything I take in the first 3 months is extra money because I'm not paying the rent. So I'm saving money on the rent. And so hopefully I should have built up a little cash flow pot in this small company. And then the rent from the containers just pays the rates. Just pays the rent. The rent from the containers actually pays the rent on the land straight away. And so there's no capital expense. And I've got to be very, very careful because there is downsides to container storage. Number one is it's not predictable. Somebody else can open up straight away and buy containers and put it on the land. And so that's why you've got to be really, really, really careful with containers. And so for me, I only want to be opening container parks in A1 locations. I want it to be a really, really good location. I don't want anybody to outposition me. And this is one of those locations. So that's number one. And number two is that I don't even know number two. I just feel like that container storage, you've got to be really careful about because there's going to be more and more people looking at storage and it's a cheap way to get into self-storage. As I'm explaining now, it's literally very little money down. So almost anybody can open a container site. Don't get me wrong. You might not be able to get asset finance or it might be tougher to get asset finance. Maybe it's easy. And you might not be able to get terms on the containers. But yeah, people can open. There's going to be more and more people opening container sites. And so that's why I do like indoor sites. But then again, there is some negatives, as I've been speaking about cash flow with indoor sites. It's hard. It's hard, but then you've got a moat around it because it's hard for me. So that means not everybody else can do it as well. So there is benefits as well. There's pros and cons to both. But this is a really risk-free bet. And not only that, if it doesn't work, I've got a year's break. That's what we've got in heads of terms, a year's break. That allows me just to pack up and move if it doesn't work within a year. So I'm not tied into a long lease. It's got a 20-year lease. But I've got a year's break as well. So if it doesn't work, then boom, I can go. So that means I'm only paying 9 months because I've got 3 months rent-free and then 9 months to get to the 12. That's it. So I'm chancing 9 months. So it literally is, as Dave Davies would say, a fucking no-brainer, mate. A fucking no-brainer. And so I'm really, really excited by it. But having said all that, the reason I'm going to Scotland today is because he might not want to do the deal anymore. Yes, we've got heads of terms, but he's got cold feet and he might be wanting to develop the site. And so I'm going up to Scotland to speak to him to see if we can come to an arrangement. He's talked about even selling it as well. So he's got cold feet at the minute. So hopefully I can talk him around and I will keep you guys updated. So today is just a little bit of it. I know it's been all over the place, but it's me getting across my feelings about opening a new site. Really excited by Mansfield, but really scared at the same time. I'm not as scared as I probably should be. I probably should be more scared, especially when we talk the money involved. But it's only paper, innit? It's only paper. But I said to my wife, I said, yeah, but Claire, this is the last big bet we've got to make because the next time we open an indoor site, we've got Clough cash flowing, we've got Willoughby cash flowing, we'll have Mansfield cash flowing, we'll have all these sites cash flowing. And so it'll be so much easier for us. And then she's like, oh yeah, costing, yeah, whatever. You said it last time and the last time. So, and we'll have paid off loads of debt as well because asset finance over 5 years, we'll pay it. Next time we do it, probably an indoor site will be another 2 years maybe. Anyway, I think it's exciting. And I'm hoping by the end of next year, if this site in Scotland goes ahead, we'll be opening before Christmas. That means we'll have 6 sites. The aim is next year to have 10 by the end of next year. I think we'll easily do that because I can open these container sites really, really easily. But also I want to buy another self-storage because Wrexham has been an unbelievable success and proven that what we do works and it's transferable to other sites. And yeah, you don't have to do a lot to be good in self-storage. And I think what we do, we've increased revenue by 35% at the minute, 35%, and it's still going up all the time. We've increased revenue and we've decreased expenses. So that's a win. That's a win. And if we've done it there, we can do it other places as well. So yeah, I'm really excited about the future, about buying other sites as well. So hopefully it's an exciting time. 10 sites by next year. And I do have to be careful not to go too stupid, because the one thing that can bite me in the butt is overtrading. And I'm reading a lot about overtrading, being too overzealous and confident in your industry. And I haven't got a plan B. There is no plan B. It's all in self-storage. I was talking to my my mentor, and he was like saying, "So how much savings have you got?" I was like, what is this weird savings you speak of? What is it? I was like, everything's in self-storage. He goes, what about pension? I was like, what is this weird pension? Pension? I was like, no, pension is my self-storage. And he goes, Dean, if it was any other business, I'd be like saying, you are fucking nuts. You are crazy. You are nuts. But I get it, because self-storage is so good. But I do think you should start diversifying and thinking about a pension. I was like, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah, fair enough. So yeah, I have got to be careful, because I understand my shortcomings, and I don't know. I feel as though this is an opportunity of a lifetime in self-storage for you, for me, for everybody. And if we don't grasp it, then I will look back in 20 years' time and think, shit, I could have done more. I could have set myself up. I could have set the legacy of my family, my kids up forever. And I didn't do it. And that is a regret I don't want to have. But equally, I don't want to sit there in 20 years thinking, I had a great opportunity, but the problem is I went too fast and I ran out of money and I lost it all. And this is why that we live in a caravan, kids. Anyway, I've got to go to Scotland. I love you. I appreciate you. And I'll see you tomorrow. Maybe not tomorrow, because I might be in Scotland. I might not by the time I have a chance to record one. I'll see you Thursday. Worst case scenario. All right. See you soon. Love you. Appreciate you. Bye.